What's up, guys? Gamer PIM here. This is free for all on this map, Crisis, I believe it's called. I lost a little thing on my mic to make it to where, like, if I accidentally blow into it, you don't hear it. So I have to keep it further away from my mouth than I normally would, or maybe cover it up. But I don't know what I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'm afraid that I'm gonna start breathing into my mic. But so anyway, so last video was about my life in Japan. I decided to move on to Florida, and this video is going to be this long because it'll give me more of a chance to talk and maybe even get into the next place I lived. So anyway, so I lived in Pensacola, Florida for a while. I think maybe 3 years. Japan was the longest time I've ever lived in one place, and so for the next couple years of my life, we moved around every couple years or so. But so anyways, so Pensacola, Florida, lived there for a while. We lived in a nice house. It was like the biggest house I've ever lived in. I remember there was a huge ceiling that was supposed to be like the dining room, but we used it as like an empty room. And I remember my mom's computer was in that room too, and so was my dad's. And then right around the corner was the TV. But anyways, that's besides the point, guys. So Pensacola, what can I remember about this place when we first got there? We got there at nighttime. I remember in Japan we left when it was dark, and we got there when it was dark, so it was strange. Because like I heard that the other side of the world was supposed to be a different time, and or daytime. So when we got there, I thought that maybe we hadn't really left. But so anyways, so we had to stay at this little shack motel thing. It was kind of like a well, what would you call it? A trailer? I think that would be more along the lines of what it was. And there's like a hornet's nest in one of the windows in the trailer, and my dad had to spray it, and we actually slept in that room. And I remember that I slept from like 10 o'clock that time till like 12 noon. It was the latest I'd ever slept at the time. And I remember like waking up and I was like, wow, this is weird. And so we had to go outside because that's what we did. We went outside to play. We didn't really play that many video games. And we met some people there that were nice, but not really the kind of friends that we would make. And I remember that we had eaten some apple seed, like apples, not apple seeds, but we had wanted to plant the apple seeds underneath the trailer so that one day it would grow and knock it over. But pretty sure that wouldn't happen. So anyways, so eventually we got a house and moved in, and it was a huge house and it was really nice. A big thing I remember about Florida was a lot of bees and wasps, and it was the first time I got stung by a bee, and it was right in the back of my neck. That hurt, but and like to this day I can think about how bad it hurt. It really doesn't feel good. Like I think people underestimate the pain of a bee sting. But so anyway, so to move on a little bit here, I was homeschooled from the 1st grade to the 6th grade. A lot of that was in Pensacola. Well, all of it was in Pensacola, Florida. But so what it's like to be homeschooled, because it was only my mom homeschooling us, it was really relaxed. And homeschooling is just supposed to be a school away from the public school. It's not supposed to be something where you can just sit at home and have a good day and learn if you want to. And that's how we took it as. Every day we'd maybe do work, and so eventually you have to, like, every year or so go in and you get evaluated to make sure that you're learning. And eventually the lady said that we weren't learning good enough, and that we needed to go to an actual school where we would get a better education. And I think that maybe homeschooling ruins you, in the sense that you're not up to date with how to act socially. because the only social interactions we would have is with people at church. And to get into that, the church we went to was right down the road. It was a pretty big church. I think it was called Pensacola Baptist Church. And we went there for pretty much the whole time we lived there. Eventually, we started going to a different church. But this church had a little field trip thing. And the only reason I'm talking about this is because I just talked about it to someone. And we had this field trip to go down to Texas. And it was like a church camp thing. And what I remember about that field trip was when we first got there was like a tarantula in one of the beds, and we had to shoo it out of the room. And then for the rest of the time we were there, Daddy Longlegs would get in piles on the screens for our little cabin that we had. But so anyway, so moving on. I don't know. I just thought about something else. I kind of spaced out there. I gotta lay off the drugs, guys. But anyway, so going back to the Pensacola scenery. We lived there. So like outside of church, we weren't socially skilled, I guess I would say. And so we had like this feeling that everything should be easy and fair. And I think that because I wasn't really good at that kind of stuff. And my brother got the worst of it, I think. But that's besides the point. So school, as a person who hadn't gone to school for 6 years, it was kind of hard. It was weird. I went into school at the 6th grade, so don't think that I was homeschooled the entire 6th grade. But I remember there's some things that you're not used to. About going to school, like what you should say and how you should act, and I think that's what causes like the social awkwardness of some people is they're unaware of how to act around people because of an experience in their life, and so anyway, so eventually my dad got orders to move up to Atlanta, I think, but the guy who went there wanted to go to and the guy who he was going to switch places with was going to go down to South Carolina, but he didn't want to do that. He wanted to go to Pensacola, and so he requested, and my dad was like, "Okay, I'll go to South Carolina." So that's where we went, and that place was pretty interesting. I'm not going to be able to get fully in depth into it. Hopefully, I can remember where I leave off. But anyways, so when we got there, I went to school, and I was actually going to an elementary school that included the 6th grade. And so, like, it would be 4th graders, 5th graders, and 6th graders. And so that was kind of an interesting experience. And I remember there was this girl I liked. Her name was Jenna or Jenny or something like that. And she was dating this black guy. And I had eventually told somebody that I liked her. And they were like, "Oh, he's gonna beat you up. He's gonna get you," and that started like my fear of the entire race, I guess. And because since then I've been a little timid around black people. Some black people are more easy to approach, but a lot of them, the way they act and the way they look, it like triggers something from my childhood, and I really can't deal with it because to rewind, in Japan, there's this black guy on the base, and he'd always pick on us, and it was like a little war, I guess, we were having with him and his family, and we'd throw his like bike and stuff on top of the dugouts at the baseball field, and eventually his sister kicked my brother in the stomach. My mom went over to their house. They had like a yelling fight, I guess, and that was the end of that. But that had gone on since I can remember. We never liked each other. I can't remember what his name was. So anyways, so that kind of instilled the fear I have. Well, I wouldn't say fear. I would say like how timid I am around black people. But anyways, so I'm gonna try to remember where I am now. I'm talking about black people at school. I guess I have a little while to talk. When we lived there, my brother got this one of his friends. They've been friends since. Josh Whited. He had long hair, and so like me being the influenced youngling, I guess. I really wanted to be like him, and I started growing out my hair. But that's besides what. That's not besides anything, guys. This is coming to the end of the video. I really got to end this. But thanks for watching. Please like, rate, subscribe. Rate means like anyways. So comment. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.